A superpower may bully a small country and steal its resources. But a superpower country will never bully the whole world of small countries united against it. Coming up. Well, USA started by disrespecting Cyril Ramaphosa, telling him that he's running his mouth when Cyril was commenting about USA pulling out of South Africa's G20.
We have received notice from the United States, a notice which we are still in discussions with them over, about a change of mind about participating in one shape, form, or other in the summit. So the discussions are still ongoing. This comes really at the late hour before the summit begins.
The New York Times is reporting that the administration is now sending a U.S. official to the G20. They're sending Mark Dillard. Can you confirm if that is true, and then also explain the shift in?
I'd be happy to explain, because there is not a shift. The United States is not participating in official talks at the G20 in South Africa. I saw the South African president running his mouth a little bit against the United States and the president of the United States earlier today, and that language is not appreciated by the president or his team. The ambassador, or the representative of the embassy in South Africa, is simply there to recognize that the United States will be the host of the G20. They are receiving that send-off at the end of the event. They are not there to participate in official talks, despite what the South African president is falsely claiming.
What was even shocking for me was that the lady who uttered those words, telling our president that he's running his mouth, is a mere 28-year-old Caroline Levitt, a White House press secretary. What a disrespect. And it wasn't too long once Cyril Ramaphosa handed in the baton to the USA, since they are the next one to run the G20. Guess what? South Africa was not invited in G20 2026. Then Trump wrote a tweet, and this is what he wrote. Listen to this guy. Trump is just something else, guys. Wow. Listen to this. The United States did not attend the G20 in South Africa because the South African government refuses to acknowledge or address the horrific human rights abuses endured by Afrikaners and other descendants of Dutch, French, and German settlers. My goodness. The guy is continuing with his lies. To put it more bluntly, they are killing white people and randomly allowing their farms to be taken from them. Wow. Oh, wow. Wow. Now, what shocks me, guys, is that Trump knows that there is no such. There's no genocide in South Africa. He knows that, right? And even the US journalists know that there is no genocide in South Africa. They said they cannot report on such because there is no such. Now, listen to Trump now here blaming his own journalists of not reporting the genocide issue. Listen to this guy. Now he says, to put it more bluntly, they are killing white people and randomly allowing their farms to be taken from them. Perhaps worst of all, the soon to be out of business New York Times and the fake news media won't issue a word against this genocide. It's because there is no genocide, Mr. Trump. You can't blame media on this. Wow. Yeah. That's why all the liars and pretenders of the radical left media are going out of business. At the conclusion of the G20, South Africa refused to hand off the G20 presidency to a senior representative from our US embassy who attended the closing ceremony. Another lie. There was no senior representative. There was no USA senior representative in our G20 closing. There was a junior representative. Now he continues to say, therefore, at my direction, South Africa will not be receiving an invitation to the G20, to the 2026 G20, which will be hosted in the great city of Miami, Florida next year. Oh, by the way, guys, that G20 will be held, in Florida. Florida is Trump's Gulf state, his own Gulf state. That's where the G20 2026 will be held, in his own premises. Wow. Okay. Now he says obviously he's not going to invite us, but forgetting that it's not up to him to invite or not to invite South Africa. Okay, now South Africa has demonstrated, that's what he's saying now. South Africa has demonstrated to the world they are not a country worthy of membership anywhere. And we are going to stop all the payments and subsidies to them effective immediately. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Wow. And of course, Cyril Ramaphosa has since responded about this whole thing of USA to say, USA, you've got no power. Trump, you've got no power to tell us or to decide on us whether to come to G20 or not to come. Because we are one of the founders of the G20. So you don't have it in you, Trump and the USA, to decide as to who should come and who should not come.
All G20 members attended all the G20 related meetings throughout the year, except for one member country. It is regrettable that the United States of America, which is a founding member of the G20 and which takes over the presidency of the G20 from South Africa in 2026, chose not to participate in the G20 Leaders Summit and the final meetings leading up to that summit. It is even more unfortunate that the reasons the United States gave for its non-participation were based on baseless and false allegations that South Africa is perpetrating genocide against Afrikaners and the confiscation of land from white people. This is blatant misinformation about our country. We were most pleased that many organizations, businesses, and individuals from the United States participated in large numbers in G20-related activities, such as the Business 20 Summit and the G20 Social Summit. South Africa valued their constructive and enthusiastic participation. Earlier this week, we formally handed over the G20 presidency for 2026 to the United States, observing the appropriate diplomatic protocols. A few days ago, President Donald Trump made a statement to the effect that South Africa would not be invited to participate in the G20 in the United States. He repeated untrue statements about genocide against Afrikaners and the confiscation of land from white people in our country. We must make it clear that South Africa is one of the founding members of the G20, and South Africa is therefore a member of the G20 in its own name and right. We will continue to participate as a full, active, and constructive member of the G20. Despite the challenges and misunderstandings that have arisen between South Africa and the United States, South Africa remains a firm and an unwavering friend of the American people. We recall the great solidarity movement in the United States that stood by our side in our struggle for democracy and freedom. We recall how the Bill of Rights in the United States Constitution inspired us as we wrote our own Constitution. We offer the people of the United States nothing but goodwill and friendship. We affirm our commitment to continue to engage in dialogue with the United States government and to do so with respect and with dignity as equal sovereign countries. We value the United States government and its people as a partner. We have common interests, common values, and a shared wish to advance the prosperity and well-being of the people of both of our countries. As a country, we are aware that the stance taken by the United States administration has been influenced by a sustained campaign of disinformation by groups and individuals within our country, in the United States and elsewhere. These people who are spreading disinformation are endangering and undermining South Africa's national interests, destroying South African jobs, and weakening our country's relations with one of our most important partners. We must remind these people that South Africa is a constitutional democracy with a Bill of Rights that guarantees equality under the law. We have an independent judiciary able to uphold our constitution and defend the rights of all South Africans. We are a country that has a tradition of dialogue, that has an enduring ability to come together to confront the challenges that we face. South African problems must be solved by South Africans themselves. We have now embarked upon a national dialogue where all South Africans from all walks of life, of all races and creeds, are invited to forge a new future for our country. We have determined, in the tradition of Nelson Mandela and other great leaders that have helped to build our nation, that no one must be excluded. Every voice and every perspective must be heard. And as we invite people to participate, we also invite those who are spreading misinformation about our country to bring their concerns and their solutions to the national dialogue. We must never allow others to try to redefine our country and cause divisions amongst us or dictate who we are as a nation. We know who we are. We are South Africans. We are defined by our ability to work together and to find solutions to problems that beset our country. We live together, work together, learn together, laugh together, even play together. We also pray together as we did today during the National Day of Prayer. We also mourn together. We celebrate together and face our challenges together. In the best and worst of times, we have stood together. We must work with greater focus and determination to address the many challenges our country is facing and make our South Africa a peaceful, prosperous, and great nation. And as our sportsmen and women have taught us, we are stronger together, always. Lastly, thank you once again for coming together as South Africans to host a very successful G20. You made us proud. Nkosi sikelela iAfrika, Morena ubuluke sitjhaba sa heso. God seën South Africa. God bless South Africa. Mudzimu pathuchedze Africa Chipembe. Hosi katekisa Africa. I thank you.
Yep. I totally agree with Cyril Ramaphosa here, guys. To just keep a low profile, speak the truth, let the bully go ahead with his bullying, and of course, the whole world will know who is a bully here. Now, what I would like to know, and I would like to see also, is whether the Africa countries, and of course, all those countries that are within BRICS, whether they will boycott the G20 2026. How are they going to handle this? Are they going to boycott that to say, no, if you don't invite South Africa, Trump, we ain't coming? Of course, I would expect China, Brazil, India, and of course, our Africa countries to boycott Trump. I just want to see how are they going to handle this. What do you think? Let me have your comment below, and of course, if you are coming for the first time, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.